So till now we have seen three questions which were very simple, having translational and rotational degree of freedom, and one which has combined. So let's look at one more question where we have a spring and a hinge which can translate, and a rod which is attached to hinge which can rotate, and the mass has. So the rod and a hinge are massless, and we have mass which is only the mass. So only where the mass is provided. So it has 2 degrees of freedom, one rotational and one translational, as we know. I'm taking this as the reference for theta and this as x. And the mass is the net velocity v, which is cut down into two components, vx and vy. So I can write the equation for potential energy. I have written the equation for kinetic energy, which is only for mass, that is half mv square, vx square plus vy square. Then I have converted the x and y in terms of x and theta. And I have written again the kinetic energy in terms of x theta or x dot and theta dot. Now we can assume so small angle. So wherever we have cos, we can convert it to 1. Where we have sine, we can convert it to theta. So written the kinetic energy. We can get the Lagrangian, that is kinetic energy minus potential energy. So we have got that. We do necessary differentiations which are there. So this term goes to 0. Another term has minus kx. Over here, dl by d theta has most of the terms getting to 0. We have 2 remaining terms which are over here retained. We have dl by d theta dot, where we have these 2 terms retained. Then we need to find d by dt of dl by d theta dot. So we have done that also. You must remember these are partial differentials. So over here, all other things such as x dot, x double dot, theta, theta dot, theta double dot are constant in the expression. So they can directly be get differentiated and get answer as 0. Over here also we have partial differential equation. While over here we have complete differential equation. So all the parameters which are a function of time needs to be differentiated. So I have done that. And the final thing is to combine those equations and we can get the equation of motion. So we have one mass only and we have got the equation of motion. And this equation of motion, so this is one of the equation of motion, that is first degree of motion. This is another degree of motion equation of motion. So that's all. And both equations are non-linear because over here we have theta dot square. Here also we have x dot into theta dot. So this makes them non-linear. Let's look at another equation where this is very interesting and innovative question, maybe, where we have fixed support. First of the mass is the ball at length L1, and another ball is connected to the first ball and its mass is M2. So again, we know we have 2 degrees of freedom. I am assigning theta 1 and theta 2, but the way I am assigning them are very new to us. So this is theta 1 with respect to this vertical, theta 2 is with respect to this vertical. And temporarily I am defining a coordinate system which are x and y. Later I will convert them to theta 1 and theta 2. So I have written the total kinetic energy and total potential energy in terms of x1, y1, x2, y2. And you look at how we have defined x1, x2, y1, y2. So this is how we have defined that. And I have given equation for how to convert x and y into L and theta, theta 1 and theta 2, while L1 and L2 are the constant. So these are the equations. We have potential energy, we have kinetic energy, where velocity is converted to x, y, x, vx and vy squares. We write the equation of Lagrangian and perform necessary differentiation. And again, we'll have non-linear equations of motion. That means there is a chaos. A chaos means that we cannot predict the response exactly, because a small change in initial condition, a very small change in initial condition, that is velocity or displacement, can bring a large change in the external response over after some time. So till some time the response can look same for small interval of time, but later the response can change and vary too much if the initial conditions were changed by a small way. So how is this implication done in or application applicated in our real world? So we can predict the motion of Earth, rotation of Earth, Moon, and all other planets' position with 100% certainty, almost 100%. But we cannot predict weather for tomorrow with 100% certainty. That is because of chaos. The cloud movement, the wind, those equations of motion which are occurring, and they are highly non-linear equations. That's why we cannot predict them easily. While these equations of motion, which are the positions of Earth, Moon, relative positions, they are linear equations. That's why we can predict the positions easily. In the next video, we'll look at another questions.